Hey, hello everybody. It's Pete Eisman back again with Genesis East Acquisitions. And I know I just did a short video the other day, but I had to do this. Something happened the other night that I just thought was interesting. I was sitting on the New Jersey Transit train coming home. I was doing one of my martial arts things in the city. And I was sitting in one of those end seats in the train and that face each other. And I was reading my Dave Lindahl book, Multifamily Millions. I've read that book probably 4 or 5 times already. Every time I read it, I get something new out of it. Great book. But anyway, I was reading the book, and a guy came in. He sat down across from me. It looked like he was about my age. And a couple of minutes later, he just mentioned, I looked up a minute, and he mentioned about the book. He says, hi. He says, what do you do? I mean, do you buying multifamilies? And, the cover is pretty evident. So we got into a little conversation about, the multifamily business and what I do in multifamily. And I started, we were going back and forth, and I asked him a couple of questions. And it turns out he's about my age, and he was talking about his investments, and how he was really, really dissatisfied with the growth of his, he had an IRA, the growth of his IRA and some of the investments he had in there. He had your typical conventional stuff in there, mutual funds, some stocks. I think he had some of it in money market fund, that kind of a thing. And the returns he was getting were just, dismal, really poor. And he was expressing the fact that if it keeps going this way, he's going to have to start lifting off the actual principal at some point, sooner than later. And it got me to thinking, because that's what I'm all about as far as this business goes. That's why we started it, really. As I said, we looked at all the different types of investments, and we found multifamily really offers all of the best of all the worlds, as far as passive income, creation of wealth, tax benefits, mortgage pay down, all those different things. But it can provide a very good, healthy, long-term passive income for people who are at that stage in their life when they're either retired, they're thinking about retirement, or they just want to supplement their income in some way, regardless of what age you are. So we got into a really good conversation about that, and actually I think he might be one of my next investors too. He was really intrigued by what we do with the multifamily, and how it can be a real passive investment for people like that, people who have money put aside, but just really dissatisfied, excuse me, with the returns they're getting on them. And this is a great way to really, really supplement that, and supplement your income and increase your standard of living a little bit. So I just wanted to say once again that I started Genesis East Acquisitions originally with the intention of accelerating my retirement and rescuing and saving my retirement. And then I started thinking about all the other people in the same age bracket as me. Baby boomers, once again, is one of the largest demographics ever going into this phase of their life, which is, retirement or semi-retirement, whatever you want to call it. I don't particularly like the word retirement. And there are 78 million of them. That's a huge number. And 70% of those people, unfortunately, don't have enough money going into retirement, have very, very small retirement funds saved. And even they can invest. But, people who have a significant amount saved but don't want to live on the principal should really start thinking about, putting that money in some other type of investment that's safe. Because, you're talking about real estate. Multifamily apartment building is going to be around forever. It's one of the basic necessities of life. It's shelter. And the class that we invest in is a class that everybody goes to when time gets tough. So it's a class that's always going to be around. It's just a great investment vehicle for somebody who needs to really supplement their income and really take those returns where you gain 2 and 3%, or even less in a lot of cases, and boost them up. You know, historically in this business, and what our partners are seeing, we're seeing returns anywhere from cash on cash returns 8 to 12% range, and then IRRs anywhere from the mid-teens and you know, and up, the low 20s, that kind of thing. So just a couple of words that was prompted by this conversation I had on a train with we exchanged numbers and contact information, and hopefully he's going to be one of our investors in our next project. So anyway, that's all I had for you, everybody. Just thought it was an interesting little thing that happened, and you know, you never know where it's going to come from, and you never know who you're going to run into. But just the fact that I ran into somebody who's in that demographic, sitting right across from me, you know, that says something. There's a lot of us out there. So everybody have a great night. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.